Hey, what is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So if you're new here, go ahead, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's get right into this video. So in this video, we're going to be talking about 5 buy opportunities that I see right now in the market and what you can do about it. Obviously, I talked about this before, but I'm going to bring it up again just in case you guys forgot. Um, there are 2 ways to make money when you're buying and selling stocks. One is when you buy it. If you buy an undervalued stock, that's how you gain the most equity, right? And however, when you sell, obviously that's the second place where you really make money, okay? But the buy is very, very important, okay? Where you get the buy. All right. Now, we're going to be talking about 5 stocks that I see huge future potential in this video. Guys, this is going to be a good video, and a lot of people are going to be able to make a pretty decent amount of money. But as I said before, I'm not a financial advisor, so I'm just some guy on the internet that makes money trading stocks. So, anyways, all right. So first company that we're going to be talking about, huge company, Square. I did an entire video on why I think Square is probably going to 10x over the next 5 to 10 years. I think this is a great stock. I think it's a great stock to be a part of. And we are down 12% this week. Okay. Huge number. All right. Now, I don't see any super signs of support besides this 207 level. However, as Square continues to drop more and more, I will continue to place more money in the market and continue to buy. This is a company that I believe in a lot long term, and I believe this company long term is going to be a very, very big player, not only in payment processing, but in the Bitcoin market, in stocks, in a lot of other areas. And I think they might end up launching some type of card or some type of banking system eventually as well to store your money on Square. But yeah, this is going to be a very interesting stock in the next 5 to 10 years. And the fact that we're getting it for a discount is huge. I mean, guys, this stock was trading at like 240 a couple days ago, almost 250, no, 245. So I believe at its peak, it hit like 245 or something like that. But this stock was trading really, really high. It's still a buy for most analysts, and this is a stock that I could see running for a very long time. It's had a very nice, consistent uptrend. I believe we've kind of come back down to a pretty decent level. I'm pretty sure if you graph this off, you would definitely hit a support level somewhere in here. Yeah, it looks like a good chart. It looks like we have a decent upward motion and movement pattern. Yeah, this is a company that I believe in very much long term, and I believe it's going to consistently do well long term. Now let's talk about Dropbox. Okay. Ticker symbol DBX. Now, if you're not familiar with Dropbox, basically what they do is their cloud storage. On top of it being cloud storage, they own the second largest e-sign called HelloSign, and they have a bunch of different things going for them. They're consistently profitable over time. They've done very, very well for themselves. That's another thing I should talk about with Square. Square, I believe we're going to see really big things happen for them as they've just started hitting profits. But this next quarter, okay, when we saw Bitcoin go nuts the last quarter, it went insane. Like literally, this flew off the charts. And I believe we're going to continue to see that throughout the future with Square. But let's talk about DBX, okay? We're sitting at a decent evaluation. Our PE is fairly low. I mean, it's a company that, in my opinion, is just super undervalued. People are not very much underestimating the future of HelloSign, their e-sign, and DocuSign, and is getting basically all the attention. But Dropbox is over here putting up decent numbers every single quarter. However, they're not really grabbing the same attention. And I think it's definitely going to be a stock to watch here in the future. The fact that we're down almost 10% this week, huge buying opportunity, guys, huge. I can't explain this enough. We've been waiting for something in the market to happen, some sort of weakness or something, and it's finally here. Unfortunately, it's all of the stocks that I pretty much own. But the cool thing is, when you're looking at buying stocks, we don't want to buy them when they're up, right? We want to buy them when they're down. We want to buy them on a discount. Well, right now, we're sitting at very much discounted levels on a lot of these stocks, especially in the tech industry. And for the past couple of weeks, we've just been kind of like, we trade up for a day, then we trade down for a day. We trade up for a day, and then we trade back down for a day. Now we're basically sitting at a level where I think it's worth, the investment to start buying up some of these stocks. And maybe in the future, we'll see further push down. And of course, as we push down further and further, I'll continue to buy more and more into the market. This is why we always say to hold about anywhere between 20 and maybe even 25% of your total cash or your total portfolio size in cash, so that anytime an opportunity arises in the market, you could go ahead and enter and get discounted deals. It's more or less about being in control and being in power of your own money. Okay. You want to be in a position of power, not in a position of weakness. Okay. So for instance, when a position like this ends up coming up, or something to this magnitude ends up coming up, you can end up entering buys. Now, in my portfolio, I usually keep one basically very stable, almost dead stock. Okay. And the reason for this is I'll put $5,000 in what's called a dead stock. It's a stock that basically just does nothing. It goes up very slowly. And the dead stock that I've been holding for a while has been Amazon. Amazon has been consistently in what's called a side-to-side sideways channel. They've just been trading sideways for months. And it basically just means they're not going up, they're not going down. And it's a very consistent, more or less company that even if the whole stock market got hit, I don't think Amazon would be affected too much. So I've been keeping a lot of my money in Amazon. However, don't underestimate Amazon's next earnings. I think they're going to be fantastic. Okay. But I normally use a position like that, and I hedge that position, and I'll keep $5,000 or $8,000 or whatever in it. And I will use that to help launch into some of these other very undervalued stocks, like a Square right now. Okay. So let's talk about the next position. The next position is Zillow. Okay. And huge, once again, I can't even put into words how good of a buy this is, guys. We're down like over 10% on this position since previous highs. We've come down a lot, guys, from 142 all the way down to 126. I mean, we're sitting at like 11% down since previous highs, and that's a great buy position. Is it going to be a position that is going to grow long term? I absolutely believe that Zillow will be a huge player long term, not only in real estate, but I think they could even move into some other sectors and even monetize their website further. Zillow is going to be a big company. They have massive growth ahead of them. And however, this is not a large position of mine. This may be a position that right now I build a little bit larger just to go ahead and get a foothold in Zillow. I underestimated Zillow when it was $60 this year. Okay, I greatly underestimated them. When they hit their earnings and they did very, very well, I cashed out at 90. Well, I re-entered around like 105 because I didn't think this stock had that much potential. I ended up doing more research on it and digging more in depth on it. And yeah, I do believe it is a company that could consistently do well long term. Same thing with another player that we're going to talk about here in a minute. But let's jump back into the e-com space here for a second. Another great buy this week, and it's a position that I currently hold in my portfolio, is called Etsy. Okay, ticker symbol ETSY. And the reason for holding a company like Etsy is if you believe in long-term growth in e-com. Okay, and the reason why I'm saying, yeah, we're sitting at 197, so 175. We're down quite significantly. But the reason why you'd want to hold a company like Etsy is if you believe in some competition, more or less, for Amazon. And that's basically what Etsy is. Etsy is a company very much like Amazon, where they resell products all across kind of the World Wide Web, and they do very, very well. Their earnings have been pretty significant the past little bit. They have a 94% buy rating from analysts. Yeah, I consider them to be a company that's probably going to boom. I would not put it past them in the next 5 years to start competing with Amazon. I mean, maybe they're not going to take, a ton of Amazon's market share, but I believe that they could take 10, 15% of Amazon's market share, if not a little bit more. And when you're talking about a company of Amazon's magnitude and the fact that Amazon is going to grow into this market as well, because this is just a growing market, guys. Very much like, um, the EV space right now, consumer services and retail online is going to continue to grow for the next considerable future, at least 5 to 10 years. Think about this. Think about how many times you order from Amazon this month. Think about how many times you've ordered from Amazon this year. And when you start thinking about that, you really start to realize, well, hey, maybe this is something more or less that could very much impact the future of not only e-commerce, but more or less you have the opportunity to buy into a company like this right now, and it kind of its baby phases. And it does have, as I said, a 94% buy rate from analysts. I don't normally listen to analysts, but with 95% of them or so agree that, hey, this is probably a pretty good buy, then it may be something to consider and look into. However, I wouldn't take what they more or less preach to heart, meaning I believe they have like $185 buy target on this company. I believe that's even undervalued. Based on where this company is going, based on they're in the same market share as Amazon, based on that they're succeeding in this market right now, based on the fact that they're doing so many things and they're staying innovative, I do believe that they're a company that's going to do really, really well. You don't want to put anything past a company like Etsy. All right. Now let's jump into the last one I want to talk about. This is a company that I more or less overlooked. Okay. Once again, a company basically in the Zillow space. Yeah, we're going to talk about this company. The company's name is Redfin, and they're very much in the same space as a Zillow, where they're listing services for houses, for homes, for inventory on the housing market. And it's a company that I see is probably going to do well for the long term. This has a pretty high buy rate from analysts. It's done ridiculous numbers, guys. And I only see this one continuing to boom. This may be a stock that could fall even a little bit further, maybe into like the $60 range. But if this falls into the $60 range, guys, I will be buying heavy because I do believe in this company very much long term. Even at the this $71 range, I still think it's a pretty decent deal. I do think that we could fall a little bit further yet. However, this is a company that I'd be looking at possibly buying in the future. This is a company that I overlooked. Okay, this is a company that I was like, I saw some people announcing they were buying it, and I was like, well, more or less, it's too low of a stock. Okay, when companies are too low of a market cap, I normally don't consider buying them. Okay, unless I do a lot of research on them. And this is a company that I did not take the time out to research enough. Okay, this is a company that I've seen several YouTubers and several analysts call out that, hey, this is probably going to be a big company in the future. And it was something that I slept on. Okay, and it does happen. You're not going to catch every stock in the stock market. It's just not going to happen. However, this is a stock that I could see potentially doing well in the future, sitting at a $7.43 billion market cap that leaves plenty of room to run. For instance, I believe Zillow's about triple, almost quadruple that market cap. So you can definitely see this run for quite a while yet. Most analysts are calling a buy on it or a hold, okay, at its current evaluation. As you've seen, it started to create its first profitable quarters. Definitely all good signs of a company to see, okay? These are, as I said, this is a company that I could see some very long-term growth in. This is a company that has started to put up some decent numbers in terms of revenue. I believe, let me see here. In terms of revenue for the fourth quarter, they're expecting $226 million. And basically, it'll represent a year-over-year decrease by about 3%. Now, the reason why that's kind of interesting, okay, is the housing market is very weak at the moment. I think I covered this in another video, okay? The amount of more or less houses, homes, the total inventory is very low on the market right now. And that leads a company like Redfin or Zillow more or less opportunity to make money in the market at the moment. However, as we see the housing market inventory increase here in the next probably 6 months to a year, I do believe that we're going to see companies like Redfin and Zillow soar. Okay. Now, in the short term, in the next 3 months, you may see companies like Redfin and Zillow come down even a little bit further. The reason being, as I said, low inventory. Okay. Low inventory means most likely less sales, okay, which definitely is less income for a company like Zillow or Redfin. However, as I said, in the next 5 to 10 years, I do believe you're going to see companies like this absolutely soar. And as I said, the reason being is everything's moving online. E-commerce is, is huge. And I believe, like think about this, okay? When you look up, okay, and I don't know how many people obviously are watching this, probably maybe 100 or 200 people are watching this video, but out of the 100 or 200 people, I guarantee some of you people have looked for a home in the past year or 2 years. Where did you look for it? Where did you find the listing? Did you go in person first to a realtor, or did you look online? Okay. And if you looked online, did you look at Zillow's website? And I can tell you for a fact that I personally was looking for a possible deal in real estate this year. Okay. I was looking to buy a possible another house. And when I looked at all Zillow. Okay. That's all I was looking at was Zillow. And I was looking at more or less deals that I could find that were somewhat undervalued and houses that I could get into where I could do a little bit of work, flip it, and obviously turn it into probably a long-term rental. And when I was looking, I just could not really find much of anything that I really wanted to jump into. I mean, everything looked like it just needed a little bit too much work. And when you're looking for some type of flip, you want to look for cosmetic stuff. Point is, I looked on Zillow. Now, I do believe in the future that be looking more on companies like Redfin, and obviously there's going to be more competitors to Zillow. I mean, Zillow was the first one to really get into the space and get big. Yeah, but I believe that when you look at houses in the future, you're going to be looking online. I believe that real estate agents are still going to be a thing. Absolutely. Obviously, we're still going to need them. However, when you're looking at, I believe there's going to be less room for real estate agents to, I guess, spend a ton of time looking at houses when you can just look at it online. And then whoever owns the listing on Zillow is probably going to, more or less get the sale. And I believe that's how it's gonna go in the future. Huge industry, and it, as I said before, it all comes down to industry disruption. Okay, where you had a more or less the housing market offline for years and years and years, and you went to a realtor and you went through all the trials and tribulations of buying a house. Now I believe you're going to go through the same thing, but it's going to be a lot less because you're going to have a very good indication of what you're looking at already before you even get to the property, right? So if you see something that you don't like in person, obviously that's going to change your decision. However, it's definitely going to narrow down the possibilities of houses that you want to look at, in particular when you start looking through a company like Zillow. And as I said before, me looking on a company's website like Zillow I was able to narrow down the houses that I wanted to look at considerably and waste a lot less time on it. So, I mean, and that's what it all comes down to is people don't like to waste their time. And Zillow is going to be one of those companies out there that helps people gain back a lot of time, basically, in a sense. Um, anyways, guys, those are pretty much all the stocks that I have for you guys. They're all 10 to 12% positions. They're definitely positions that you could see possibly do really, really well here. But they're all positions that you could consider and, possibly enter. Maybe one of these companies you're really behind and you really see future potential in. I know for me, there are several companies that I've already started to buy into today, and maybe if we see a little bit of a pullback tomorrow, I'll buy in again. And I will continue to do that, until I'm more or less happy, uh, with my position size. But, I can't say no to a discount of this magnitude. And if these stocks interest you, obviously you don't want to buy stocks when they're at their highest. All right, now that we've had a 10-15% pullback, this is a great opportunity for a lot of people to probably enter stocks. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. If you did get some value out of this, please go ahead, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and until next time, guys, see ya.